Okay, we're back. We're back. It's we're back. It's Sunday afternoon. I think it's already after 1. I finally got some more work and spent the last 2 days at the arena loading in, load in, show call, load out, 2 nights in a row. Slept, sort of, in the van in the parking garage Friday night. Well, it was really Saturday morning already. Got here to the boat in the wee hours this morning. Didn't lay my head down till 5 a.m. Didn't set an alarm. I'm not going to do much today. I got to clean up mostly if I can get motivated. But right now, I need a shower. Then I got to go to the bathroom, and I don't want to do that on the boat. Currently, I'm not really set up for that. But I got a couple little things to mess with. I need more coffee. I really need more coffee. Whoa. Yeah, I'm going to take care of that and show you what I'm up to. That's better. Had a nice shower. Changed my socks. I haven't changed my socks, and we don't need to know that. They don't need to know that. Had a nice shower. Went and got some more coffee. Just didn't feel like making anymore. They don't need to know that either. Take 3. I had a nice shower. Got something to eat. It's almost 3 now, and I haven't really done anything except relax, but I'm entitled. My body's demanding that I take it easy today. But I've thought of a couple little things I can do. I found some bits and bobs that came with the boat at home that I'd pretty much forgotten about. I'm going to see about installing them today. First thing this morning when I got here, I put in the winter boards. Quite lovely. It looks like oak to me. I don't know if they're old or new. Probably. They look like, again, they look like they've never been exposed to weather. They work for keeping the cold draft out. They work pretty well. Unfortunately, this one is stuck right now. I'll get it free later, but there's no reason to remove it. I can step over it easily enough. I've also got, ignore that for the moment, and ignore that for the moment, although this is really important. I've got some little canvas covers for things in the cockpit. Can you guess? I'd completely forgotten I had these. Guess what that's for? I bet you can guess. And this one, a lot smaller. Both with nice snaps. These also look like they haven't seen much action, which is great. One with a hole in it, and it certainly goes here, but I don't see the corresponding snaps. Oh yeah, there were some. I took them off. All right. Do I want to get into putting those back today? Yeah, that's definitely what that's for. I have these. I laid them aside somewhere. I don't know why I removed them. I think by the time I was working on this, I thought, oh, there used to be covers, but I don't have them anymore. I forgot that I laid these aside when I first got the boat. I don't want to get into those today. The daylight's already failing. I know that, I'm almost certain that batteries, I probably didn't charge it. The other one is in the van. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that today, but it's great to know I have this. Although, ooh, it's not going to work too well with that now, is it? Well, better than nothing, really. I mean, I could just, if I have it there, I could add another snap here. I could even, yeah, I can modify this. It's just nice to be able to, I wish I could cover this. The sun is definitely doing a number on this. But every picture and video I've ever seen of somebody with this kind of controller, the knobs are always, they look like that. They just do. Yeah, just to help protect this, mostly to keep rain and snow. I can see snow building up in here being a problem getting into the works. And it's just, I don't know, it makes your boat look fancy. The other one, as you might have guessed already, is for the control panel for the engine. This, I'm really happy to be protecting this more from the sun, because the sun will lay waste to these things. Let's see, which is the top and bottom. It looks like the pattern is symmetrical, so let's check it out. I keep forgetting I've got to do a coat of the gray on this. This is still just primer, but that's not going to happen this year. Need a good spell of warm, dry weather for that. Look at that. Snaps are a little crusty. Nice. I'll tell you honestly, I could just sit here until the sun goes down and enjoy this. It's not too chilly yet. I think I have a little coffee left. I might bring it on deck and just chillax for a little while. And I suppose when the sun begins to set, I will start tidying up. I got some cleaning and organizing to do. But I'm also doing kind of a casual inspection of the deck, of the mooring lines and everything else. Not much to report there, or I would show you. And I know the wind is beating up the mic on the camera. I can't be bothered to deal with that stuff right now. But yeah, it's nice Sunday afternoon. She's floating. I still can't believe it. It's still surreal to see this boat bobbing here. I love it. But there's so much that's got to be done. So much work. Okay, I was going to continue with the forepeak storage today, but my Polytex, my 15 mil Polytex finally arrived. So I've shifted gears. The winds are expected to be very light over the weekend, and it's Monday now. So I'm going to just get everything ready that I can. I'm waiting to hear from a buddy who may come to belay me when I go up the mast, probably Saturday. Just went to the chandlery and picked up some thimbles. These are a little small, but I think they'll be okay. What's going on presently is it's a much larger diameter polypropylene line that's on there now, on the inner and outer, and they're done, they're crap. At the top, they used a soft eye on a shackle, which is fine. What they did was, I've got a blue shackle here somewhere. Basically, what they did was they spliced right onto the bell of a shackle, which is okay. The problem is that is joined to a stirrup that is attached to the main mast. The reason there's a stirrup is there has to be a void for the bottom of the top mast to pass through. Well, the entire mast, if you raise or lower it, has to pass through. And that's great, but I'm not real keen on having the pin of a shackle up top. It's not ideal. There's always a chance that you're going to get, especially against a piece of hardware, you could have forces this way. And this thread is just here to hold the pin in place. It's not there to take any kind of load whatsoever. I don't care how good a shackle it is. As a rigger, as an entertainment rigger, I know that's a no-no. You want to avoid having pins up top. If it's on another piece of rope, not the end of the world, but hardware, not good. So what I want to do is at least get this in there, so that I can then, I got to find appropriate shackles. I think this one will fit, this bronze one, so that now the pin can be down. Yeah, that'll work. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, these thimbles are a shade undersized, but I can't. I mean, maybe I could order some. I think at some point I will probably swap these out with the absolute correct solid body size in bronze. But I don't know, when I win the lottery or something. So yeah, now the bell will ride on that stainless, heavy-duty stainless stirrup that's attached to the top of the main. As for the bottom, I've got these beautiful new Merriman bronze turnbuckles, half-inch turnbuckles. That should fit in there nicely. I don't think I'll need a shackle for the top of this. It would be much better to have it go direct, although, yeah, I mean, this isn't going to be, I'm not going to be doing that much. That'll be something to sort of keep an eye on. I'm trying to minimize the length of my hardware run from, in the case of the outer forestay, the Kranz iron, and in the case of the inner one, that chain plate that I have there at the bows, just so I can make sure if I need, I can put the sails. I'll have more flexibility to put the tack of the sail as low as it needs to be. So what I got to do now, while I have some nice daylight, I've got this afternoon. It's already afternoon, and tomorrow morning before it starts raining, to get started on this, I can finish splicing inside the boat. I want to try to at least get the eyes done on the top. I'm going to take another rough measurement. Just going to haul a measuring tape up to the top of the mast with a halyard and check that again. I didn't write down, I did it before, but I didn't write it down. I could just cut this 100-foot piece in half, but I know they're not going to be anywhere near 50 feet. The longest one, the outer one, might be just south of 30 feet long. So I'm going to take some rough measurements and get my top splices ready. Yeah, I think the battle plan will be, just so John doesn't have to stick around, well, unless he wants to, watching me splice the bottom eye on at least one of them, in order to make sure I have at least one forestay active while I'm up there, even though the mast is pretty monolithic. It's not going anywhere, but it would be foolish to tempt fate, because I only have, I have no other support. I think what I might do is do the outer one first, keep it long enough that I can just temporarily lash it to the bowsprit, and then just hang both of these from their new eyes at top, and then he can go on his merry way and I can finish things by myself at the bottom. I'm tempted to try to make a measurement and do both ends first, but if I screw it up, this rope isn't very expensive. It's under $2 a foot, but it took a long time. I ordered this stuff in early August, or was it June, late June, July? Yeah, from a company from R&W in New England. Great guys, great service. But they were back ordered. They have to order it from the UK, from Langman. So it was back ordered, and then it was held up in customs for weeks and weeks. So you think in the States you wouldn't have these problems, but Amazon doesn't deliver this stuff. It was kind of like being stuck on a remote island somewhere where you can't get stuff shipped. But anyway, yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now. I have a 100-foot soft tape, a trim tape on a reel, but I just remembered where it is. I'm not going to buy another one, so I got to think of something else. I think I'm just going to haul another piece of line up there, maybe even a piece of this stuff, and then just mark it. I won't even need a number, really, if I do that. That's a good idea. All right, didn't show the process, but I've got my rough cuts for my inner and outer forestays. I'm gonna start splicing those on deck, I think, in a bit, but I think as long as I've got good weather and I'm on deck already, I can finish these indoors. but if I'm going to move this Spurling pipe, this would be a perfect time to do it. So I'm going to haul all the chain out on deck first, and then undo my bitter end below and get ready to, yeah, I'm going to have to dismount this, drill a new hole, mount it back here. Haven't come up with a precise mark yet, and then yeah, then I'll get back to splicing these. It looks like this plastic junction box cover is the perfect size for a plug to cover the old hole plus the footprint of the flange. So, and it's going to be a little flat on one side. I can actually take advantage of the shape of my stock here because it bumps up against the quarter round molding. Something like that. That'll save me having to make another cut. All right, that came off without any fight at all, which is good. Got some ancient bedding of some kind here. I don't know what it is, but it's mighty, mighty old. I'm gonna clean this up and double check my measurements. Yeah, we can see once again, it's hard to tell. This part is raised. I doubt that was, I don't know if they installed the flange before they did the final sanding, or if this is just from decades of sanding and or wear. I'm going to try to keep it out of the bilge. I'll probably swab that with some acetone or something. I wonder why they elongated the hole here. You got to clean this off too. Let's see why they would have had to elongate that hole. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he was worried about getting it in there. Interesting. Yeah, maybe he had to offset a little bit. That won't be a problem for me because I'm not putting it close to this. Let's see. We know it's about 4 1/4. Yeah, a little less. Yeah, 4 3/16. Took about 1/8 of an inch off. Although it does kind of tuck in there. You know what? I'll start with it round, and then if I have to, I'll file some off on my plug. It's not perfectly round, but without making a hole through the center, I can't really swing a perfect circle. It's kind of thick, but that's all right. Better too thick than too thin. It'll take a beating, and that's pretty important. We're gonna want to pilot. Fit, then we'll bed it and get it done. I like done. Done is so good. Is that cracking? Don't you dare. It's not going all the way through. I just want to mark the forward end so I don't forget. It'll fall right off on it. Whatever. Complicated, but this is what I have up here. I'm not going to try to make a nice bead all the way around it. It's not really worth the trouble. Pretty good. All right, where's the fourth screw? There it is. All right, let me take that off now. It's annoying me. Try to line these screws up. Nice. Anyway, that's what we got. Of course, it's in shadow now. You can't really see it, but that's a plug. It is what it is, my friends. It looks all right. It'll do the job. The next thing we got to do is the scary thing. I don't know what kind of windlass I'm going to have. I don't know how far out the gypsy will be, so precisely where it'll fall. But I'm planning on making a trough of some kind, if I have to kind of guide these few inches into the Spurling pipe, which I'm going to try to get as close to this beam as I can. But because of the blocks reinforcing the Samson post on the inside, sorry about the handheld action, there's nowhere to put the camera except perhaps in the river. I have to come out at least 4 inches, so it's going to have to be like about here, and I'm going to turn this around so the opening is forward. The plating's coming off of that. Good. I prefer bronze to chrome anyway. But I'm not going to take it off. I'm going to let time and the elements remove that for me. That's about the thickness of the deck. I could get a little closer, but I don't really want to be on that block. I don't want the chain rubbing on it. So something like that. Maybe come right to the seam. I'm not going to drill through the seam, but something like that. I think that'll be pretty good, regardless of what kind of windlass I have. And for the period where I won't have a windlass, it's going to be fine. Even before I get a windlass, I may put something down just to keep the chain from rubbing too much on the deck. Yeah. It's not optimal. I mean, it's going to rub on the bowsprit no matter what I do, but that is some kind of chafing protection can be arranged in the future. Now, hold on. If I don't cut through the seam, I'm going to wind up with a screw in the seam, and that's even worse. Let's go. If we go about there. All right, I'm going to get my 2-inch hole saw. Put it right on the edge. Try to square these up to the seam line. Of teak and ply. I think this saw will do the trick. I don't like making holes in the deck. It's nerve-wracking. It's got to be done. It's got to be done, but it's nerve-wracking. Pilot bit's a little dull. Slower, maybe? No, slower is not the answer. Medium speed is the answer. Yeah, I should know better than to use an impact drill for this. But guess where the big drill is? It's in the van, actually. But by the time I walk to the van and come back, it's going to be almost dark. Bit off. I went a little bit too far over that way, but that's all right. Oh, there's the teak. All right. The ply should be a little easier. Yeah, I know you always like to come loose, don't you? I smell pine. I think I can't be hitting that block. It doesn't come out that far. Woohoo! Hello down there. A little splintering in the ply, not the end of the world. What is that? That's just some painted ply. Test fitting, please fit. Oh yeah. Just about perfect. Slightly, very slightly oversized hole, which is exactly what I want. Nice. I could either epoxy that inside or just get some sick flex in there. I think I'm going to go for the latter. Epoxy would be ideal. There's always going to be an opportunity in the future on some hot day when I'm bored to redo this. But for now, again, this is not a big... This foredeck has got to be the driest part of the boat in terms of water intrusion. Okay, let's do this. Screw holes. Yeah, I probably should because they make contact, right? So get a little bit in there. That'll squeeze out from the center. Probably. So, wow, I gotta get rid of some of this. Kind of overdid it. That's kind of off center. Okay, get rid of some of this. We'll get rid of that later. That'll come up. I gotta sand this whole deck again anyhow. Probably in the spring. Give it a good once over. Double check all the seams and all the plugs. I have a few plugs that are showing signs of old age and fatigue. I'm not even gonna. I got the paper towel right here. Let me try it. Towel, Sikaflex. Acetone. Yeah. Just even some old Sikaflex on the edge of that. Some blue tape residue. I taped these up when I was attacked by wasps. Was that last summer? Summer before last? Like there aren't a million other places for them to get in. That was funny. I don't remember what episode it was, but I hope people were laughing at me because it was silly. Mostly want to stop them from getting in here. Yeah, that's not real pretty. Because that's just the kind of place where they would go and I wouldn't know they're in there. They would build a nest right in that small void. I just didn't want to have to be dealing with swarming wasps, you know. Let me get the tub and drop this back in. Well, I could have gone. I could have got a lot closer. Who made that measurement? You know what? That's fine. It does need a little deflection. I think I'm going to need to put something there just to get it heading towards the center. Also, because of the cutout in the forward face of the pipe itself, you know, where the cap fits over it, I'm going to need to have something so that the chain can just run. Otherwise, it locks on the bottom of the cutout. I was trying to make it run from the side, and it kept reorienting itself. But assuming I can get it to fall like, I could even bring it back a little. Oh, that's not a bad idea, actually. I could mount a ring, a steel or bronze ring, an open eye. Interesting, very interesting. That would give me, yeah, Yeah, assuming that, I think it will spill in there. The rope is going to always create small problems, but I think it'll be okay. And we certainly have room. This thing it's not its final form. That's why it doesn't really fit. I thought I made it wider. I don't know. Oh, I do know. I remember now. We talked about this before. That's okay. Yeah, it looks like I've got 35 feet of chain and about 70 feet of rope. I could easily have 200, 300 feet. If it's all chain, I imagine all this rope is in here. That's almost 40 feet of chain fitting right in that little corner. 40, 80, yeah, I can easily put a couple 100 feet of all chain in here. Well, it's already locked in pretty well. Cool beans. And our grate, our grate can go, yeah, now I don't have to worry about, I do want the bitter end to go to the Samson post, but I'll make a hole or something down there. Not to take the strain of the ground tackle when the boat's at anchor, but just something to keep the bitter end from going overboard. That's sure. I don't know, maybe if I'm gonna put something up here to guide this, I might just secure it to that somehow. I don't have these screws handy, but the grate will go in there. I might get some, put in some Zeus fasteners, you know, spring captured screws, so I don't have to, even with tabs, so I can undo it in a hurry if I have to. Although I guess that's not a big deal. Pretty cool. Then these will have sides on them about that tall to make these funky little lockers, and then I'm going to cut these to length so I have another, like a grate with these pine slats on it that can be removed. Yeah, if I guide this forward a little, make it fall right there. I'll have to have a pretty big opening at the back of it, but that's okay. Nothing else can go in there. Anyway, having this slatted thing here will give me more storage. It'll actually live down here a little bit. I got to cut the end of that off so it sits a little more parallel to these, although it doesn't have to be. I haven't recorded any of the progress of this just because close quarters and the camera constantly misbehaving and interrupting my workflow. But we're getting real close here. I got all the cedar tongue and groove in place. I've cut out for my doors. I still don't know. I may put another opening in this aft face. It turned out pretty good. The cedar is not in perfect condition. It's a little weathered. That's part of the reason I wanted to get it in place, because it's been kicking around in the boat. It's kind of hard to protect it sometimes. I'll have to be real careful continuing to work in here. But it's doing all right. It kind of matches. The old stuff is a little beaten up too, a little bit. At least it won't look too new by contrast. I also follow through on my, well, Creelark's idea to move the Spurling pipe, the starboard Spurling pipe aft. And I've got a pretty good drop going here. The rope definitely does not want to really cooperate. When it hits here, it just kind of wants to bunch up. But that's not a big deal. For now, I'll just have to wrangle the rope. I mean, in Barnegat Bay, I doubt I'm even going to be letting out any rope with over 30 feet of chain. That gives me, in most places, like 3 to 5 scope. So, and it's the length of the boat, which is a pretty good rule of thumb if I do let rope out. As for the rest of this, kind of finish this slatted tray, which I still think is a pretty good idea, but I've noticed like every other aspect of this project, as I build it out, it's all a lot smaller than I pictured it in my mind. We'll see how useful this is for storage. It's sure going to be a lot better than having 50-gallon water tank, boom, right here, taking up all this space. Some of you who've been following this may recall that these, I'm still going to build these out as lockers. There'll be some kind of half-inch fascia, maybe where to fill in the gap here there might be another layer down low, but it won't be overlapping this. The whole point of this is that I can quickly remove it to deal with the road as needed. This will come right out, and there it is. The chain, without the rope, the chain seems to fall pretty well. I still have to figure out a way to gently guide it closer to center. And maybe I might box this out a little bit. Something that lives here that's attached to that bulkhead that will still allow me to get this out and even get these out as needed. But yeah, there'll be a fascia. The half-inch fascia will go up to about that line, and each of these will have a lid that can be opened, either just a plug type or hinged, or yeah. I've made a rough pattern, made some measurements to make a rough pattern for the top of this. I don't know what it's going to be yet. Some kind of wood, I think. I was thinking starboard, but I don't know about the starboard for that. Some kind of wood. I gotta look again and see what I have at home. I might have something appropriate. This will get more of the cedar, but I need to, what do I need to do? I need to do some more things with this. I gotta redo the reinforcement of this. I've got to trim this opening out somehow. So it looks uniform. I got to cut this back so it's more or less flush with the face of the cedar, and make some kind of molding that goes around it. But for now, it's Thanksgiving Day. I'm going early this evening up to Doug and Lyle's to have dinner with them and some other friends, which will be awesome. I'm gonna put stuff away and clean up the cabin. We're going to start with just throwing stuff back in here.
listen, if you do an early cut, please keep me posted. It looks like it's gonna really. And then later on that night, I don't know, I guess I said something, I had a look on my face or something.